if you're an American and you're still proud to be an American, you're either an idiot or you're evil. There isn't no in between. The state of the world today, unless you're living in a hole, there's no way you can fail to notice that we're absolutely the most evil country on the face of the earth. And we have been for quite a while. Every war, every regime change, every bit of drama and evil done geopolitically is caused by us. All the propaganda, all the lies, at least 99% of it, comes directly from us. Not from Russia, not from China, from America. America is the worst country in the world geopolitically. Right now, the worst type of human slime ball, subhuman slime ball, that I've ever seen in my entire existence is in power here in America. And I'm not just talking about the worst of them. I'm talking about damn near all of them on both sides of the aisle. Nothing but the worst kind of human slime ball that you could picture. They're trading the lives of hundreds of thousands of people for money, basically. What's going on in Ukraine is one of the worst crimes against humanity ever committed in all human history. And it was committed directly because of us, because of our military-industrial complex, and because of our politicians, and because of our media. They're all in on it. And this ain't some conspiracy theory. Anyone who thinks that, or thinks that conspiracy theory means not true, is an idiot as well. This whole war has been artificed by our government and by the military-industrial complex here, and the bankers and the media. It's sickening how bad it is. The most corrupt criminal president we've ever had is still in power somehow. And they're trying to prosecute Trump on some, oh my God, it's crazy. They're trying to prosecute Trump on some BS and trying to give him like hundreds of years in prison, while we got Biden on things that as bad as treason. Just straight up got him, no questions asked, straight out. Yet nothing's done about it. Why aren't any people in a position of authority arresting this crook? Just so you guys know, anyone who's a police officer or someone in law enforcement or the Justice Department that is allowing Biden and all those crooks to do what they're doing, you're going to be held accountable too. You're going to go down with them. 100% for sure. Yesterday, the mainstream media is calling Greene and Gates and Boebert and the other true patriots to saying they're unconstitutional. They're dividing the Republican Party or whatever. That's what the rhinos were saying yesterday. The only true patriots we have are them guys. Them are the only people trying to save the lives of hundreds of thousands of Russians and Ukrainians, because they won't vote on the defense spending bill right now. As you know, it's just in time for that, and then they're parading their little monkey Zelensky around in Washington again. You know, their little monkey in his sweaty ass fucking t-shirt and a fake fucking combat uniform or whatever. Yeah. It's kind of funny how it comes to town, right around the time when they want everyone to vote on the defense spending. Well, we got patriots that won't vote on it. The whole reason they want it voted on is because they're getting that money in large amounts. Our own government is the ones getting most of that money going to Ukraine, because the money don't go to Ukraine. The weapons are supposed to. Well, all that money goes to our weapons contractors, our industries, our factories, our arms dealers. Then it gets laundered and gets sent right back to the politicians and to the media. They get their share. So all you idiots waving your little Ukraine flag that couldn't even point out where Ukraine is on the map, you need to wisen up and wake up. You're participating in one of the worst crimes against humanity ever committed today. And any of you with an ounce of intelligence knows you're wrong and you know what's going on. If you don't, you're an idiot. Straight up. Maybe because you don't pay attention to what stuff or whatever. Maybe you got some intelligence. You're not really dumb, but you're not paying attention. Well, that means you're even worse. It's time everyone wakes up and pays attention to what's going on. They're leading us down the war to destruction, or the path to destruction. They're leading us right towards Armageddon. Is what they're doing. Russia's not going to back down. Russia does not. Russia doesn't lie, like they say. Russia will do what they say they're going to do. A victory in Ukraine, you know what that means? It means nuclear war with Russia. That's what these retards don't understand. There is no winning this war, and we have no business being in this war anyways. Any of you don't see that? Like I said, you're either evil or you're stupid. There is no in between. I don't care if you support Russia or Ukraine, because myself, I love both countries. They happen to be my two favorite countries on the planet before this shit happened. I've always loved these countries. That's why I know what's going on. I've been paying attention to what's going on there for years and years and years. What's going on in Syria, where our troops are fighting side by side with ISIS, trying to take oil fields from Assad. Blaming all the shit that we're doing on him, just like we always do. We're the absolute worst country that ever existed on the face of the earth, the most warlike country in the history of planet Earth. We've caused more wars, more revolutions, more regime changes, more drama than any other country in the history of our planet. All we do is meddle in other people's politics and stuff. And then we want to get mad when other people do it to us. We act like Russia's wrong or something for not wanting NATO troops right on their borders with missiles and everything else. We don't allow military bases from China or Russia or anyone else in our hemisphere. And we got these other countries like Iran and North Korea completely surrounded with military bases, but we say they're the aggressors. Fuck, wake up, Americans. You can't be proud to be an American and be that fucking stupid. Straight up. You want to say I'm not patriotic? You know what? A true patriot will step up and correct his country when they're doing wrong. Not go along with it no matter what. As of now, if they started a war with Russia, I'd fight for Russia because I wouldn't fight for them evil monsters in Washington ever. Any of you who do, you're a fool. That makes you evil too. Not a patriot. It makes you evil. It makes you a useless or useful idiot. That's all it makes you. It's time people stand up. We need them people removed from Washington. Everyone who's in a position of authority or in law enforcement and doesn't arrest Joe Biden and them people, if you have some kind of jurisdiction over what's going on there, you're going to be held accountable too. I promise you this. I don't have no authority or nothing myself, but I know what's going to happen. The pendulum's going to swing the other way, and people that have justice in mind are going to come into power. You guys are all going to pay for it. You're not going to get away with your little winnings or whatever you think you're getting right now. All the money you're pulling out of this crime you're doing in Ukraine, you're not going to get away with that. You never were gonna. You're trying to, though, with COVID and everything else. You're trying to do the biggest transfer of wealth in the history of humanity. In fact, you've almost accomplished it. That money ain't going to do you any good at all when you're sitting in prison or when you're being executed for treason. And I guarantee you that's coming. So you keep getting your little worthless dollars because karma's coming for you. Karma's a lady. Injustice is a bitch. And they're coming for you. And this is a call to everybody with a good heart and everyone who loves the world in our country. Do something. Raise your voice. Do what the fuck ever you can. Don't support these bastards no more. And throw away your little Ukraine flag. If you're going to wave any flag, wave a Russian flag. Or actually, just don't wave a flag. Let's just forget about that. Let's end that war. How's that? We could have done that a long time ago. They don't want to end it, though. That's how they're making their money. It ain't the people of Ukraine that are getting rich, though. It's some of the politicians, and maybe a few of the military people are over there. It's our politicians, our arms dealers, our media people. They're the ones that are making the money off this. It's the biggest money laundering operation ever, just about. It's like I know a lot of people see this. Actually, if you go look at the polls, it isn't the people that support this war. It's just the Congress. It's just the senators. It's just those human pieces of trash. How did we ever get stuck with the worst slimeball humanity that ever existed on planet Earth as our so-called leaders? It is just amazing, isn't it? Well, I got a few names. Judge Neapolitano. That's a good man. Colonel Douglas McGregor. That's a good man. Colonel Scott Ritter. That's a good man. Ray McGovern. That's a great man. Tulsi Gabbard. That's a wonderful woman. Jimmy Dore. A wonderful human being. Tucker Carlson. Why don't we have people like that as leaders? Well, Plato said 2,000 years ago that people who pursue leadership are the least suited for it because it's always evil people pursuing power. And the people who shun it are the best. They would be the best leaders because they're selfless. They don't want power. Some of the people I just named would make wonderful leaders, especially Judge Neapolitano. He's one of the greatest men that I've ever witnessed, even though I haven't met him in person. Just listening to his podcast and what he has to say every day, day in, day out, shows me that he's a very good man. He makes the politicians we have in Washington look. I mean, you can't even compare them. There's no comparison. That's like comparing them to Putin, who is, by the way, the greatest leader in the world today, modern times. He's such a better leader than anybody else in the world, and they're trying to demonize him in the mainstream. Anyone who pays attention knows better. Putin's actually a hero. It's a shame we don't have men like that in power here. Well, I hope this message goes further than just my lips. I think Judge Neapolitano and some of his friends, Ray McGovern, I think they should run for office. And I think all you idiots should vote for them. Quit voting Democrat or Republican, unless it's Matt Gaetz or Marjorie Taylor Greene or Boebert or someone. You know, the ones they call unpatriotic and all that stuff. They're the only true patriots that we have that are politicians today. And Tulsi Gabbard. Oh yeah, and Donald Trump, of course. Even though I don't even like him. I think he's a loudmouth asshole. And I don't think he's as smart as he thinks he is. But that's alright. He's a lot better than the politicians we have in Washington. Actually, I like Trump. He ain't that bad. And that election was stolen from him. And now they're trying to prosecute him for investigating the fraudulent election. That's how bad things are. Well, the worst crook we ever had in the history of the United States is the president. I mean, the things that he's done, and Hunter Biden and everything else, the things they done, the thing Hillary did, was so much worse than anything they tried that they impeached Trump for. Trump's whole presidency, they kept impeaching him for nothing. For things they knew were lies. These people knew that allegations were false, yet they still pursued it against a sitting president. Isn't that treason? I think that's treason. Why are they still free? What less still part of our government? Have you guys ever asked yourself this? How did they impeach a sitting president multiple times when at least two of the times they knew the allegations were false? 100% knew they're false, yet they still pursued them. Doesn't that seem like that should be against the law? Yet we got this piece of crap as president today that has done stuff 100 times worse. We have all the evidence that they did it and everything, yet we have the FBI and the Department of Justice blocking us from doing anything about it. Doesn't that show you that the biggest criminal organization in the world is the Department of Justice? Everything that we have is a system, in our system of power and control here in America, is like inverted to where the people that are supposed to be the good guys or whatever, they're doing exactly the opposite of what they should be doing. They're projecting all the stuff that they are, like all the things they say other people are doing and accuse people of doing. That's what they're doing. All that evil shit. And instead of doing their job, they're usually doing what they're supposed to be fighting against. And it's... The situation we have in our country right now is the worst situation I've ever seen in any country. We're the most corrupt, garbage country that's ever existed as far as corruption in our geopolitics go. We talk shit about China and Russia and all this. And that goes for a lot of you just regular, common Americans, too. A lot of you bloggers and especially people in the conservative party talking shit about China and stuff. You might not be in on the military-industrial complex stuff that's going on with this war. So you're not completely evil, but you're still an idiot for talking shit about China and these other countries when you need to clean your own backyard. We're the worst country in the world. We don't have no business sanctioning anyone else or telling anyone else what to do. We ain't their daddy. We ain't their God. We don't make the rules. We're not above the rules ourselves. We don't get to do things and then tell other people they can't do it. Act like they're so evil for doing the same shit we've been doing for I don't know how long. We've caused the death of more people than any other country. Because we had a lot to do with both the world wars too, even though we didn't get in it till our bankers and our financiers, our arms dealers, even back then, did. Where do you think all the weapons that England and Russia and all them guys was getting in World War II came from before we got there? Rockefeller, Carnegie, all those people. They've been selling death for over 100 years. And we're just going to sit there and keep doing it. If that's what it means to be an American, you make me fucking sick. You're a slimeball too, just like anyone else, if that's what it means to be an American. Because you ain't an American. You ain't related to me. I'm a real American. I love everyone in this world. I'll do what's right, and I'll tell people what's right. I won't back a government as evil as these people are. I won't back a military that backs that government. All you people who say you're patriots or whatever, I used to think you're heroes. Now I think you're fucking pathetic lowlives. You're going over to other countries, innocent countries, and killing people. And not saying nothing about it. You're not standing up for those people. You're just going to follow your orders like a little bitch, huh? Yeah, you ain't no hero to me. None of you. There ain't been no hero in the military since the Civil War, probably. No, that's not true. I take that back. There's a lot of you didn't even know what you're getting into, and I'm sorry. But for the most part, what I said goes. And you know after the fact what I'm saying is true, too. How many villages did you blow up in Vietnam? How many villagers did you shoot compared to soldiers? How many weapons of mass destruction did they find in Iraq? Or Libya, man, they hunted down Gaddafi like he was a fucking dog. Him and his family, they straight hunted him down and murdered him. The only thing these countries ever did that made them so evil was stand up to us. If you know anything about history, if you know how to read, no matter what they say in the news media, you go read the history books and read the events as they happen. They have archives where they can't be changed, propaganda can't be added to it, the spin can't be put on it. You look at the archives of what happened as it happened. A lot of times they report on it too fast to put a spin on it. So you get the ones that happen as soon as the event happens are usually pretty accurate. And if not, you just read a whole bunch of different ones and then you can deduce what the truth is by all the different lies, usually. And a lot of times your enemies tell the truth about things that you're doing that you lie about too. So you read both accounts of things. For a long time now, we've been in the wrong. There's no weapons of mass destruction. We started those wars on purpose. We created Al-Qaeda. We created the Taliban. We created ISIS. We armed them. We funded them. We created them because we wanted them to fight against the Palestinians in Iran. Anybody who backs Palestine, who's against Israel, if anyone knows, because it was the Palestinians' land that was stolen from them and given to the Jews. Anyone who backs Palestine is called a terrorist. Yet, we are the ones that created ISIS and Al-Qaeda. How in the fuck is that? The Palestinians, they attack Israel. That's where they live. Terrorists attack countries on the other side of the world, and they attack innocent civilians. Like ISIS did when they bombed that Ariana Grande concert. Or when they flew the fucking planes into our Twin Towers. Even though we had a lot to do with that, we knew it was happening. That's what terrorism is. It ain't terrorism when you're fighting on your home soil against the occupiers. The people who have you under apartheid, they're committing genocide on you, ethnic cleansing and apartheid. And they have been for over 50 years. That's what we're calling these other people terrorists for, because they're trying to save those people. Trying to back them up and give them their lands back and get the occupiers out. Anyone who backs them, they're called terrorists, yet we created ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And we're over there fighting shoulder to shoulder with them in Syria, trying to say that the leader of Syria is bad or something like, oh, he's going to bomb his own people with chemical weapons that are straight from the United States, by the way. Talk about false flags. He's going to bomb his own people after he just won the war already. Yeah, right. When we're in their oil fields and won't leave, in their allied up with Al Qaeda and with the other group of people. I support them, but fucking they've been turned into terrorists by the United States. So, damn, I can't think of them. The Aryan people that live there in Turkey and Iraq, the Kurds. We fund terrorism, we create terrorism, then we call everyone else terrorists. Seriously, I'm telling you, 100% on the souls of my mom, my kids, everything, my own soul. What I'm telling you all is 100% true. I mean, for the most part, I might have made a few mistakes, whatever here or there, but for the gist of what I'm saying is 100% true. And if you don't know this, you're dumb for not paying attention. If you have been paying attention and you still disagree with me, that means you're evil. Things got to change. If they don't, our world's going to be destroyed. 100% guaranteed it. There is no winning this war in Ukraine. Winning the war means nuclear war with Russia. Vladimir Putin doesn't bluff. He said he will not give up Crimea. That's if we were to take that, he would consider that an existential threat to Russia, and he would use nuclear bombs. There's no way we could take Crimea or the Donbass without Russia attacking us with nuclear bombs. Does anyone not understand that? So why do we keep funding this stupid fucking war? God bless America.